Hey guys, it's Eric with another episode of Enchanted Minds. Today we're going over the best character race selection for creating a Scourge Warlock, along with the best stats to roll for. So when you're creating characters, guys, I know it can be hard. You're looking at the stats, but it's not telling you exactly what they do on this page. It doesn't tell you until you're looking at the character sheet after it's made. So we do just briefly go over each of the stats that are good for the Warlock, starting with the, we just go top to bottom. So Strength, no good. Constitution is going to give you your hard damage bonus, your base damage bonus, along with hit points. So that is pretty good. Dexterity, not really good. Intelligence, pretty darn good. It's going to give you resistance ignored and recharge speed increased. So those two combined, what we call a double dip, getting two benefits from one stat there towards your DPS, your damage output. Wisdom is control bonus. It's not really good for Warlock. Charisma on the Warlock is absolutely amazing. So what it's giving you is critical chance bonus, companion stat bonus, which the reason why this is such a favorable stat, guys, is through your bondings or through your augment. If you're not wearing if you're not using bondings, then you need to be using an augment. Especially once you get level 60 or so, you need to get that done so you start getting stats from your companion. So companion stat bonus, increasing your DPS because it increases your companion stats by a significant amount per point. And then combat advantage damage bonus, which as a DPS character, if you're in the right place, you should pretty much always have that. So unless you're out soloing, but in dungeon you should pretty much always have that. So charisma is actually a triple dip. You're getting 3 bonuses to your damage output, making it the top priority in my opinion, along with your choice of either intelligence or constitution. Again, intelligence giving you the double dip, resistance ignored, and recharge speed. That's extremely good, but the constitution can't be ignored either, guys. Bonus damage, bonus hit points. I think the best way to go about it is probably putting a point in charisma every chance we get, and then also putting a fair amount into both constitution and intelligence. And that will bring us here to race selection. From what I see, there's 3 races that are going to suit you the best for your damage output as a Warlock, and that's going to start here with the Sun Elf. So you can see inner calm, your inner peace and serenity allows you to focus more clearly on the task at hand. Your action point gain is 2% higher than that of other races. This is huge because the Warlock does significant damage with their dailies. And then on top of that, you see the ability scores, +2 intelligence. We've mentioned how good that is, and either +2 dexterity or charisma. Obviously we want the later, charisma. So +2 intelligence, +2 charisma, +2% action point gain, and then resistance to control effects 10%. That is also pretty darn good. So the Sun Elf, one of my favorites for the Scourge Warlock. There's 2 other options that I feel are strong options. The Half Elf, you can see, grants you +1 to a non-class ability score. This bonus is automatically determined by your class. This one, not so good, but you're going to get +2 constitution and your choice of either wisdom or charisma. I'd say constitution and charisma is a better option there. And then you can see knack for success, your deflect chance, and your critical severity are each 1% higher than that of the other races. So pretty good. I'd give the slight nod to the Sun Elf there. The Half Elf is an option, however. And then you can see here the third option, and it's arguably the best option. I would say either this or the Sun Elf is probably the way I would go if I were to start a Warlock from scratch right now. The Tiefling, you deal an additional 5% damage to targets below half health. You can see that Blood Hunt again. You deal additional 5% damage to targets below half health. So this is huge. It's very clear, it's very cut and dry, it's very simple. And then on the ability stats, +2 to charisma, and then your choice of either constitution or intelligence, giving you the option there to go either way. And then you can see Infernal Wrath. When you receive damage, you have a 10% chance to apply Infernal Wrath on your attacker. This effect reduces the target's power by 5%. So a nice little debuff there as well. Good for fighting some bosses. Making the Tiefling a very, very strong option for the Scourge Warlock. And with that, we will now dive a little bit deeper into how you want to roll for the initial stats. You can see it's giving us the option charisma or constitution, or charisma and intelligence. I really like both of these options. Can't go wrong with either one. I'm going to give the slight nod to the intelligence because, again, 2 bonuses to your outgoing damage versus 1 from the constitution. So now when rolling this, we still want a fair amount in constitution. So you can see this right here is a pretty good roll. 18 charisma, 16 intelligence, 14 constitution. This one's really good. So the priority here is to get the least amount of stats in the 3 that we don't care about: strength, wisdom, and dexterity. So you can see here, okay, this right here is probably as good as it's going to get. We've got only 8, 10, and 10 going where we don't want them. That's as low as it's going to get there. And then you see we have 20 in charisma, which is beautiful, along with 15 in intelligence, 13 in constitution. This is probably as strong of a base as you're going to get here, as far as just pure damage output. And I mean, you can also make an argument doing the same thing but with the constitution. That is, that might outdo the intelligence depending on what gear you're using. So either way, 2 very, very strong options. With the Tiefling, you also have access to these options with the Sun Elf. So actually the Sun Elf, I think, just has option, yeah, it would be charisma and intelligence. So you wouldn't be getting the opportunity to go with the constitution the same that you will with the Tiefling. So if you're leaning more towards constitution, then the Tiefling is going to be the stronger option. But if you want the action point gain and the intelligence, then the Sun Elf is going to be perhaps the stronger option. So guys, that wraps it up for our creating Warlock video here. If you have any questions, comment down below. I'll be sure to respond. I'm pretty active there on the comment boards, and if you need help in game on the PS4 platform, also comment down below, and I will help you in game. Outside of that, guys, I'm going to ask you to hit the like button, go ahead and subscribe if you haven't, and as always, guys, may the drops be ever in your favor. Eric out.